From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. 2 people were transported to the hospital with injuries sustained in a single vehicle accident at University Avenue and Van Horn Road this afternoon.
That's right, Daryl. Witnesses said the accident happened when the driver slammed into signage on the road. People nearby rushed to help the soldier, who was reportedly the passenger, as he pulled the unconscious driver to safety. Fire officials on scene say when they arrived, the vehicle was fully engulfed in flames. Now, the extent of the 2 men's injuries weren't known, and the cause of the crash is still under investigation.
Across the street from my work, and I saw the car engulfed in flames. And right across the road there was a woman and another sergeant carrying a sergeant with blood all over, all the way across to the grass. And that's when we laid him flat, and the woman really took charge. She took care of everyone. She made sure everything was okay. A coworker of mine called the ambulance, and we just ran to try to help.
Had a vehicle crash into an entrance sign out here off of Van Horn at the intersection of Van Horn University, catch fire. Both occupants were able to get out. Both are being transported with injuries.
The Tanana Slough fire near Tok is now 30% contained, but other fires across the state are continuing to blaze. Mike Fussell has more.
The Card Street fire has grown to a total of 9,000 acres on the Kenai Peninsula. The forest fire has been deemed the country's top priority blaze, according to a report by the Alaska Coordination. North of Willow, the Sockeye fire isn't under control yet, but now it's estimated to be slightly smaller than originally thought. More accurate mapping techniques assess the total affected area to be just over 7,000 acres, a reduction of around 500. Executive Director of the Tanana Valley Red Cross, Lori Wilson, says the organization is beginning to tell homeowners if their property survived the blaze.
For the last 4 or 5 days, people have been staying with friends or family or in our shelters. And just waiting and not without any words. So today they'll start getting some word out.
The Fairbanks Red Cross has sent several people to help operations related to the Sockeye fire, but is primarily providing a supportive role. Wilson says the best way for interior Alaskans to help others through the Red Cross is by donating money, which in turn can be used to meet the operation's specific needs.
Many of them are competitive mushers. They use very specific foods, so they're not going to they can't take just any food. So, but if we could give them the money if they need it to purchase the right food for their dogs, and for the horses the same thing, then that would allow them to get what they need.
The Alaska Division of Forestry's Tim Mowry says, with resources already spread thin statewide, people should be cautious of even the smallest unlikely fire sources.
Be really careful about anything having to do with fire, whether it's a campfire, running a four-wheeler, chainsaw, throwing cigarette butts out the window, fireworks.
Reporting, I'm Mike Fussell.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough today added wood cutting on all borough property to the list of banned activities due to the extreme fire danger. The ban was put in place late this morning, and land management officials have been contacting permit holders to notify them of the suspension. Late yesterday afternoon, Mayor Luke Hopkins issued a prohibition of all use or explosion of fireworks inside borough boundaries until further notice. The Alaska Fire Service currently lists 56 active fires in the 49th state. 2 major fires, the Card Street near Sterling and the Sockeye near Willow, were both human-caused. The Sockeye fire is thought to be started by firework explosions. Thus far, the North Star Borough has been spared from a major fire, and officials hope these latest bans will help keep it that way.
The state is experiencing very dry conditions throughout the entire state, and it's incumbent upon all of us to try to make sure that we don't inadvertently start a fire. Our Emergency Operations Department has been reviewing the information from the Forestry Department and the National Weather Service, and our conditions continue to worsen.
The 2015 municipal election is about 3.5 months away, and candidates can officially file with the borough on August 3rd. Assemblyman Carl Castle is one of 2 candidates to file a letter of intent with the Alaska Public Offices Commission to run for borough mayor. Current Mayor Luke Hopkins terms out this fall. Now, Castle held a campaign kickoff event last night at the home of Joe and Barb Paskvan. The 40-year Alaska resident has served on the Assembly for the past 5 years. Castle says he threw his hat in the ring despite challenging economic times ahead, adding that he would transition well from the Assembly to the borough's top executive post.
Well, I think the fact that I was the Parks and Rec director for a number of years helps me immensely. I know the entire borough system inside and out. I served as acting chief of staff for a while. I was actually acting mayor one weekend when Mayor Whitaker was out of town. So I've done the job at a high level in the borough before for a number of years. I ran a very efficient Parks and Rec department, and I'd like to build a strong, efficient team with all the borough departments.
Former state representative and North Pole Mayor Doug Isaacson also filed with APOC to run for borough mayor. We contacted him for this story, but he declined an on-camera interview.
All right, when we come back, we have investigators that continue to intensify their look into a cold case murder that is now 13 years old.
Also, it's Thursday, so that means it's time once again to check in with the folks in our Backyard Barbecue series. Those stories plus more when the Fbx Evening News continues.
Welcome back. Alaska State Troopers are investigating an unidentified man for having a large number of steroids shipped to Fairbanks from overseas. According to a release, the Fairbanks Statewide Drug Enforcement Unit has been investigating the shipments since a package was seized at U.S. Customs in California. Now, that package was headed for a Fairbanks residence. Inside the package was 1,200 anabolic steroid tablets along with 11 vials of liquid testosterone. Troopers say the recipient of the package hasn't been charged, but admitted to ordering the drugs from overseas. He reportedly told investigators he would be using the steroids for a bodybuilding competition. Now, the total street value of the drugs was estimated at $65,000. Troopers say because the man hasn't been formally charged with a crime, his name is being withheld. An investigation is continuing.
A Fairbanks man has been sentenced by a Superior Court judge to 5 years in jail for felony assault. 51-year-old Ivan Bolden was found guilty by a jury following a trial late last year. According to court documents, Bolden beat his wife while walking down the street, punching and biting her in the face. The victim was later choked until she lost consciousness. This is all too familiar for Bolden, according to prosecution, who referred to him as a sociopath during today's sentencing hearing. Prosecutor Andrew Baldick said Bolden's extensive criminal history contains multiple domestic violence assaults as well as other violent crimes. Further, Bolden's criminal history spans other states, including Georgia, where he was also convicted on numerous charges. Superior Court Judge McConaughey sentenced Bolden to the maximum time allowed, 5 years in jail.
The investigation into a cold case homicide is continuing after nearly 13 years has gone by. In 2002, Fairbanks woman Mahogany Davis was brutally murdered inside her Little Dipper apartment complex. A 911 call obtained by the news center revealed Davis had run out of the apartment and another resident ran to her side to help her. Davis had been stabbed multiple times and later died from the injuries sustained in the attack. Since then, the case has gone cold, and family members say they won't give up hope that her killer is brought to justice. New Chief of Police Randall Aragon and City Mayor John Eberhardt have recently intensified the investigation and say it is now on the top of their list.
The Mahogany Davis case is being worked very intensively. We're waiting on some reports and lab results to come back. We just had a meeting with her family. There are other unsolved homicides. The department, the detectives, investigators were short-staffed. I've encouraged Chief Aragon to ask for another investigator or maybe a cold case investigator when he drafts his budget. So it speaks volumes to the department and all the hard work and time they're putting in now.
Family members continue to seek justice for Mahogany and ask if anyone has information to come forward to Fairbanks Police.
Last week in our edition of Backyard Barbecue, we made the rub. This week, let's learn how to use it.
Hi, Steve Moody here again from Big Daddy's Barbecue. Today we're going to show you how to do a beef brisket. First, start with the brisket. Find you a big tub because you're going to need it. We're going to rub this thing down so that it's covered from head to toe. You want to make sure that every part of it is covered before it goes onto your fires. Then you'll take it out and you bring it right over to your barbecue. Now you're going to cook that at about 225 to 250 or until it hits about 185 degrees. Now we've already started one for you, so we'll bring it out and show you how it looks at the end. Delicious. Join us at webcenter11.com.
Brought to you by Big Daddy's Barbecue.
I don't know who's enjoying this more, Daryl or the people in the control room, our director. She's just drooling back there.
Samples. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. Yeah.
I would like a sample.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We're not asking
Thursdays. Stop starving us here.
Visual representation on the news desk. That's right.
I'm sure the viewers would love to see us just eat.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they would. Joe Cook is next. He has a story of one of the most unique running events that you may have ever seen in Fairbanks because you were probably asleep. Yeah, that made sense.
Well, don't forget about the Gold Banners highlights, plus a look at the Yukon 800 and more. Joe's shaking his head at us behind the camera, so come back for Joe.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your local Thursday Sportscast. It's been a rough go for the Alaska Gold Panthers, who are still in search of their first home victory. Wednesday night at Groudon Memorial Park, the Panthers faced the Chugach Chinooks for Game 2 of their 3-game series. Rene Martinez, he provided Alaska with the first run of the game on a fielder's choice, bring in Andrew Carrillo. It was tied 1-1 until Chugach's Holt Davis. He hit the go-ahead RBI double for a 2-1 lead in the top of the 6th. And then in the bottom of the 6th, Caleb Porter, he lays out for a web gem, getting his glove on the ground to secure the out for the Chinooks. Great catch there. Then their catcher, Andrew Mogg, out of Virginia Tech, he hit a 3-run shot, and it gets over the fence to give the Chugach Chinooks a 5-1 lead. Chugach will go on to win this one 7-3. Alaska is still waiting on a few players, but they are now 1-4, while Chugach improves to 3-2, riding a 3-game win streak.
We got a lot of faith in each other. We know we got each other's back, and we know if we go down maybe a little early, we can fight our way back.
We had a good starting pitcher out there today, and it was just we need someone to hold down. Once our starter comes out, we need someone to help him out. And our defense is doing a great job right now. So as long as they keep it up, our bats are gonna get up and get on fire, and we'll be fine though. Once we get the rest of our guys in and stuff, so we'll start putting it together.
And Dusk Till Dawn is a vampire movie that came out in 1996, where apparently there's a reenactment of this movie every year in Fairbanks, minus the vampires, of course, but people run from dusk to dawn. While you were sprawled out in your bed, these guys were counting miles and tearing up the trails at the UAF Westridge Hut for the Dusk to Dawn run. A longtime Running Club North member George Berry came up with the event. The goal is to run as many miles as you can from sunset to sunrise, which is 2 hours and 11 minutes, or from 12:47 a.m. until 2:58 a.m. You run all day in the dawn to dusk race during the winter solstice in December. Kevin Kuboltz won the men's title early this morning, running 18.3 miles on the 3.83-mile loop. Tracy Curry and Elizaveta Urshova tied for the women's crown, both running 15.1 miles. Now, Ruben Arney, Jeff Kuiper, and Dallas Critchfield won the team title as 3 dudes. They ran 45.62 miles. Now, the second part of the race will be in December for the Dawn to Dusk run. The race is in its 3rd year, and this morning it attracted over 30 runners from all over, including Manassas, Virginia, and Springfield, Missouri.
When it was dusk to dawn, I thought, well, that would be a tough one. I don't know how long I could run. And then I got to thinking about, wait a minute, nighttime only lasts about 2.5 hours, so I can do this. But yeah, I've run quite a few, 10 and 5Ks around there, but nothing like this.
Some of my running buddies said, hey, we should run all night or run all day. And then we started fine-tuning it, and we finally determined that, yes, we could do that. I'm an avid runner, and I like to help people find a new way to get out and enjoy our sport in our own community.
The Fairbanks Outboard Association and the Doyon Limited Yukon 800 starts this Saturday at Pikes Landing. Riverboat racing competitors will try to claim the King of the River title. The drawing order for the race will be held Friday evening at 6 o'clock at Pikes Landing. Last summer, Tom Kriska of the BB Bones Express won a rough 800-mile race. 14 riverboats went out and only 2 finished last year. Now, there were reports of low water near the mouth of the Chena River, but there has been no confirmation on whether the location of the start will be changed. Also of note, Harold Atla, a Yukon 800 legend, is dedicating his boat, My Pleasure, to Harriet McCotter, the mother of FOA General Manager Audrey George, who passed away in May. Riverboat crews in the toughest riverboat race in the world will depart from Pike's Landing this Saturday at 11 a.m. Finishers are expected at Pike's around noon on Sunday. Now we go from racing on local waterways to the dirt track. Money is on the line this weekend at the Mitchell Raceway. The second annual Alaska Dirt Shootout, sponsored by GCI, is this Friday and Saturday night. Drivers from Kenai, Palmer, and all over the state are coming up for this one. There's a $14,000 purse this year. Now, there will be 6 classes of cars competing for payouts. $3,700 will be up for grabs in the sprint class. The late model class has a $3,200 payout. $2,600 goes to the sportsman class winner, and the dollar stock, mini stock, and legends cars will get $1,500 payouts. The winners will be determined at the end of the second night of racing. The dirt shootout will be at 7 p.m. this Friday and Saturday at the Mitchell Raceway. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Your full weather forecast is coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Welcome back to the newscast. Daryl Clark sitting in for Mike Schultz, who has the evening off. Let's get right to it by taking a look at your conditions/almanac for the day. Our recent high 81 degrees. Recent low was 49 degrees overnight. Record high set in this date. See, it can get hotter. 90 degrees in 1948. Record low 37 degrees set in 1954. Sunrise and sunset equals 21 hours, 45 minutes of daylight. That's a gain of 5 minutes over yesterday. And winds are out of the east 5 to 15 miles per hour. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the Alaska satellite. Pretty much all well and nothing. As you can see, everything cleared out. Pretty nice. I mean, there is a system off of the Panhandle, but other than that, just clear as, and it's going to stay that way for the next day or so. Really nice conditions. Speaking of those, let's go ahead and take a look for Yukon, checking in with 75 today. 36 for Barrow and 59 for Nome, looking good. 76 degrees for Bethel. That's kind of unheard of, but it can happen, of course. Cold Bay checking in 57. Kodiak and Anchorage in the 70s for this time of year, and a little overcast due to that pressure system off of the Panhandle. 58 for Juneau, 59 for Ketchikan. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the lower 48, see what we can see. As you can see, wet conditions return to the Pacific Northwest area. Seattle, 76 degrees. San Francisco, cooler than normal, 67 degrees for this time of year. But look at where the heat wave is. Phoenix, Arizona, 115 degrees. They tied their record high for this date, 40-year record set, or tied today at least. Las Vegas, 107, and Salt Lake, 98 degrees. More wet conditions from that tropical depression storm Bill over the Texas. It's now working its way up north, but still bringing considerable amounts of rain for them. Minneapolis, 79 degrees. Same for Chicago. New York, 71 degrees. Some rain here and there. D.C., 91, and looking marvelous down in the southeast. Miami, 91 degrees. That's where I want to be, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the satellite radar. As you can see, nothing real serious as far as severe thunderstorms, but still a couple of systems here and there will give some mist to the eastern states as well as the southern states, and but not expected to last too much longer, but we'll see what a day makes of that. Let's go ahead and take a look. Interior conditions, that's right, cooler on the coast, of course, but near record heat, like I said. Phoenix tying their record today. Very warm out there, so that's going to continue through the weekend. All right, taking a look at the forecast into the weekend. As you can see, the jet stream is steady. That means things to the west are hot and dry, and then right where you would see the jet stream, that's where some of those low pressure systems will start to develop, mixed with cooler air, giving us some storm systems, but nothing too heavy as far, or serious for that matter. Taking a look back at today's forecast for tomorrow for Alaska. Let's start up north. 54 degrees for Barrow, Fort Yukon, 81 degrees, and Nome, 74. Usually sunny skies. Let's take a look at the interior, see what we can see. More just gorgeous weather, of course. 85 degrees for us, Healy 83, and Delta 81. However, this is turning the place into a tinderbox, so we have to be careful. We don't have too many fires here, knock on wood, in the interior. Let's hope it stays that way. Scattered showers possible throughout the day on the southeast. Checking in with 60-degree temperature forecast for Juneau and Ketchikan. Bethel, 80 degrees. Can you believe that? But unfortunately, they're going to have some isolated thunderstorms, and with thunderstorms brings lightning and the possibility of some lightning strikes causing fires. So we'll have to watch out for that. Cold Bay and Kodiak, 60s as well. Go ahead right now into South Central and mostly sunny. Anchorage, 71 degrees, which is really good for them. Homer, 68. Valdez, 64. Oh, that'd be nice to be down there in a little cooler conditions than but I'm not going to complain about our conditions right now, except to say we have a red flag warning, of course. It's been extended through midnight tomorrow night, and the hot temperatures and the low humidity will continue into the weekend. So please use caution. Caution, the key word there. Let's go ahead and take a look at our fishing conditions. Thanks to Life Med Alaska, we're on the way. Valdez halibut fishing is excellent, but the salmon hasn't shown up yet. Kenai, good sockeye fishing, and for Kasilof as well, no kings. In the Matanuska Valley, catch and release only kings through June, so you've been warned. Okay, once again, thanks to Life Med Alaska for that report. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our short range forecast overnight tonight. Lows in the 50s, clear skies, very mild temperatures for this time of year. Tomorrow, 85 degrees, sunny, dry, and warm. And let's take a look at our extended temperatures in the 80s, overnight lows in the 60s. And that, folks, for solstice weekend is hot.
It is.
Yeah, very good.
Steamy.
Steamy.
Very hot.
It's the dry heat. That's right. All right, we have run out of time. For all of us here at the News Center, we'll see you at 11. Good night.